Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of X-Men Origins Wolverine, 2009 superhero movie that I think has a few elements of it that are actually surprisingly awesome and decent in another case, and then a lot of absolute garbage. This movie is such a inconsistent mess, it drives me nuts. I mean, right off the hop, I'm going to try to start off with some of the positive aspects of this movie. I think this movie starts off with a series of scenes that are a montage, I should say, that is just absolutely amazing. The opening credits where it's showing Wolverine and Sabretooth throughout the years battling through all these wars is, I think, just a mind-bogglingly awesome. It sets up their characters to perfection and just, I think, looks just absolutely amazing visually speaking. I just think it's such a solid moment and something I absolutely love. And I will say, I feel like one of the things that this movie gets right for the most part is the relationship between Wolverine and Sabretooth. I think they have such a great rivalry growing throughout the film, and it's just really cool to see them together. I think right at the very end where all of a sudden they're like buddies, or maybe not, at least not buddies, but they're allies fighting back to back. I'm like, Sabretooth would never do that unless they were up against something completely impossible to take out. And, you know, I'll get to that scene a little bit later, but I wouldn't call the version of Deadpool we get at the end of this film enough for them to all of a sudden be working together to that degree. And just that part didn't work for me at all. But I think throughout the bulk of this film, I thought that they were just, their relationship was perfect. I thought Liev Schreiber did a very good job, and I thought that some of the physicality of his powers were a little bit off, but overall, I liked that a lot. I liked the romantic subplot of this film. I thought Silver Fox, I thought the actress who played her, did a very good job in the film. Drawing a blank on her name, Lynn Collins. I'm looking it up on the computer there. I thought she did a great job, and I thought that the whole storyline between the two of them was solid at the very least. I don't think it was exceptional. You know, I didn't care too much about their relationship, but it was cool seeing that kind of, you know, more romantic or sensitive side of Wolverine. I thought that was cool. I thought Deadpool at the beginning of this film was freaking awesome. It really did give you that impetus to know that Ryan Reynolds was definitely the right actor, I should say, to play the character. And I thought, obviously, he did a great job in the Deadpool film, so I thought it was really cool to see him start in that vein here. He definitely had the personality, and sure, he didn't have the mask on, but otherwise I thought that was great. But then, of course, when they just transform him into the Cyclops and the arms with the big swords in his arms, which make no sense because you see him bending his arms, and I don't know how the swords like bend in his arms. That whole thing, I mean, sewing his mouth shut, I mean, it's just so bad. And with that, I'm going to start touching on some of the aspects of this film that just drive me nuts. I mean, I could go on and on, so I'm trying to limit to some of the more egregious moments to me. I think the CGI in this film is absolutely horrendous. I mean, his claws, when in several moments, look so fake and animated, and it just amazes me how much worse they look than they did in the original X-Men film from back in the day. Matter that they actually took the effect so far backwards and made it so much worse than the one we've seen previously is just really awful. And speaking of bad CGI, I thought that the effect that they used to de-age Xavier was just awful. He looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid. There was like a sheen to his flesh. I mean, yeah, younger people don't have as many wrinkles or whatever, but their skin is still skin. It's not, you know, some glossy, plasticky garbage fest. And I thought he looked awful. I hated the look of Blob when he became Blob. I thought he looked so much like Fat Bastard, and just, it was so blatantly a guy in a fat suit, and just really didn't work for me whatsoever. I thought Gambit was a huge disappointment, a character that I have always dug a lot. I mean, he was one of the X-Men when I really got into them back in the day, and obviously a part of the animated series, and you know, always had so much charisma and charm and panache, and the way that he was portrayed in this movie lacked any of that. He was very dull. The accent came and went, and the fight scene, the one fight scene that he was in was pretty useless, and the fact that after that he's just riding the plane, I thought that was all stupid. You know, there's other aspects of this film, like Ma and Pa Kent essentially showing up was awful, but the major focus of that scene was the fact that he'd just been attacked by Agent Zero in a helicopter, and I thought Agent Zero, the character, was decent, but it just blew me away that they have him basically trying to hunt down Wolverine, and they set it up that he's like this marksman who can just basically hit anybody with a weapon from any distance, and is just somebody to be feared because of his abilities with weapons, and yet he's flying the helicopter and he has one of his lackeys firing the guns. What sense does that make? Like, they could have had there didn't need to be a mutant there. They could have had literally anybody doing that and it would have been just as effective and just as stupid. I thought that was awful. It was cool seeing Stryker in this film again. I thought that Danny Houston, the actor who played him, was, you know, a very good person to play the role. I think he definitely fit in the spirit of the character, but the way that they used him, I mean, the whole adamantium bullet stuff, I thought that sucked. I thought the way that they wrote the characters sucked. You know, this movie is just, you know, overall, at the end of the day, when I think about it, it just fills me with such frustration because there was so many elements that I thought had a lot of potential, and then a couple of elements that I thought they got just almost perfect, and then there was so much that just sucked. So those are my thoughts on X-Men Origins Wolverine. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you would hit the like button, hit the share button, would let other people know that this video is out there, and that would just mean the world to me because hopefully they'd come and check it out. And if you are new here or you just haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and let you know when I put out a new video. You can come join the conversation. Other than that, have yourself a good day.